Hey David, let's just go over, it might be easiest with a video just to explain the next aspect, that is putting all of those great activities into courses. I'm going to record this, and it's quite a large screen because I'm jumping from area to area, and I'll probably put it up in YouTube, so you may want to take a moment and maximize this to your screen so you can actually see what's going on. But anyways, here's kind of what we're thinking. So let's break it up into three parts. The first part is just kind of getting organized, that is, which of the activities goes with which unit in which course. And so to do that, if you log into WCLN, and I have made you an admin so you can get everywhere and see everything and do everything, so do be careful with that. So let's just, once you're logged in, you can scroll down, and the area that you're going to be interested in is under the math courses, the WCLN area. So you don't have to worry about those other math courses. We're just aligning with the WCLN ones. So if we click on that, and here's all the courses that we're interested in, any alignment with what you're doing. If we click on a course, and so these are the release courses, and so you can kind of see there's a lot of similarity between the units, unit by unit. It kind of carries on from the previous unit in numeracy and fractions and so on. So if it's unit 1, numeracy is unit 1 in one course, it quite possibly is unit 1 in the others too, just to help with finding things quickly. Now, in the release course, what people see out there is they see a group of activities, and this is accessible by the teachers, and so hidden from students below it. And when they click on that, they'll see all the activities that are available to them. And I'll show you later how to add the different activities into the lists. But what we're interested in is if you have an activity, and what I'd like you to do is just kind of peruse through these courses and see where there's nice fits. In other words, if you find that with the Math 7 you find that the fractions unit is a nice fit, then please check out the others that have fractions units as well. And it may fit only one of the grades, that's great. It may fit a few grades, and that's also good. So perhaps at this point, just maybe in a Word document, just the title of your activity, and then just where it fits. And it could be, in this case, Math 7 Unit 2. So we just need the units for any of the course. You may have, for a particular project or activity, Math 7 Unit 2, Math 8 Unit 2, and W Math 10 Unit 5 or whatever. And then that way you're all organized as far as where things should end up. And that's probably the biggest job, and I appreciate you doing it, being most familiar with the activities. You can certainly do it more efficiently than anyone else. The second aspect of the job is to embed them into those lists. And so that's when we would be done with this math courses area, because now we want to go into the source area so that we can push out those activities to these courses. That is, to these courses all around the province. So in order to do that, we're going to do just like with projects and stuff like that, we're going to add them to the lists. And so two parts to that. So let's go home first. And if we go to, let's just go to any one of these. Any of these buttons will take us kind of to the same place. And what we'll do is we'll go to Inquiry Project. And here's all your inquiry projects. So it's awesome. There's lots of them here. There's also mixed in some from the fashion courses and stuff like that they've started working on those as well. But nevertheless, when you identify your one of them, what you would do is you would see that there's embed code here. And so if you click on that, here's the embed code, and you can just copy to clipboard. So it's much the same as going to YouTube and grabbing the embed code for a video to put into a course or something like that. Just copy to clipboard means that you now have the embed code for this one. So let's say that, oh, nice, fractions. So that kind of aligns with our discussion. So let's say that you were grabbing a particular project and you identified that it went into Math 7 Unit 2, for example. So let's go back to the courses here. So the site, and we're down to the bottom. Now in this case, we're going down to the LTI source material. Now again, when we put anything in the LTI source material, it gets pushed out to all of the courses. And so again, it's kind of an area that you want to be really confident before you start mucking around in. So I'd be more than happy to go over this again. The organization will probably take a little bit of time. And then this, once you have the groove of it and once you feel comfortable with it, it'll go fairly fast. So if we go in here, now if we look at the top here, we can see that this is the layout of all the courses. So you can see Math 4 has a Unit 1 numeracy, Unit 2 fractions, Unit 3. Let's go up to Math 7. That's what we'll use for example here. Math 7, we can see that the first unit is numeracy, second unit is fractions, third unit is equations. We're interested in fractions. So let's go down to the fractions one. And here we are. See, so here's the group activity list. And M7 is our Math 7 group activity list. So we'll just click on that. All right, so here we are. There's no activities for this list yet. So this will be the first one. So that's nice. So over here, edit settings. And we go down to the page content. Now here it is. This is kind of the standard thing that's in here. Below are the group activities that relate to the projects and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to click on the HTML. All right. So now what we do is just below this HR, we're going to hit Control V. And remember that we had copied to clipboard. So if we hit Control V and we haven't done anything in between, then here's our new information. So what that does is if we hit Update, there's the new activity in that list. Now because we put it in the source area, that new activity, as soon as we hit Save at the bottom, which I won't hit Save because I don't know if this is a good fit, it's just an example. As soon as we hit Save and return to course or Save and Display, you may want to save and display just to see exactly what it looks like, then everybody out there who has a Math 7, BC, Alberta, whatever, Yukon, whatever, they are suddenly going to see that activity. Now, teachers, we're in the early stages of the activities, so you know, at some point, once there's some activities, we'll start to nudge teachers to take another look and notice some of those activities there. But that's basically what we're doing, is we're just dispersing all of your activities so people can look them up in the LOR, and that might be more for the classroom teacher. For these, it's more for the DL or distance learning or blended teacher who may be using the whole online course. And now they have, at the end of a little section, a unit that they're working on, they can always go down there and say, oh, what ideas are there that I can bring into my classroom related to this or related to this topic? And you've given them an activity that works nicely with that topic, and everybody's happy. So that's the concept here. There's one other thing I'll show you. If you come in and you've already put one activity in here and you're ready to say, okay, so I've already added one activity, let's add another. So you just go down to the very bottom, maybe hit enter a couple times. It doesn't matter. It won't make spaces. It just helps you stay organized. And you paste your second activity in there. One thing I'll ask from you, and we can do this later if you're not comfortable with it, but just less than sign P, greater than sign, less than sign, close P. And so if you can put that in there, then see what that does is it just makes a little gap in between them, which looks a little nicer when you're presenting them, that they're not all kind of jammed together. And again, if that you know, if you feel like, let's just avoid the HTML, then that's fine. We can add those closed P's later. But again, it's just, and see how it closed up the gaps in there, so you don't have to worry about gaps. I quite often put gaps just as I'm working on it, just so I don't kind of mix things together. It makes it a little cleaner. But just that P, that just means open a paragraph, close a paragraph, and if there's nothing in it, it just essentially makes a space in between. And that's it. So once you've got one in there, you can hit save and display, and then you can go back to the LOR and go to your, or back to your list and say, okay, now this one, the best deal on flooring, oh, I know where that one goes. That's going to go into the measurement area or what have you. So you click embed, copy to clipboard, and we jump back in our tab to the LOR area, and I'm just going to cancel that just so that I don't presume anything goes into that area. And we're back here, and we kind of go down and say, okay, so that was supposed to go into measurements. So the WMath 10 has a measurements unit, and perhaps that one fit into there. So we look for the group activity list. Oh, sorry, it jumped a little bit there. Into measurements, and we say, there's our WMath 10 and 11. In other words, they have the exact same unit in WMath 10 and 11. So we'll go to the group activity list. And again, don't mean to bore you with this, but edit settings. And page content, HTML, and paste, and we're good. Again, update and save and display to double check it, but there you go. Now everybody who has a WMath 10 or 11 course around the province will see that activity as an option to use. So I'm going to stop there, and if that's enough, then that's great. Just maybe fire me an email and say that everything's clear, or by all means do the organization first, and then we can certainly meet on Skype and walk through the second part if there's anything unclear at all. So the source areas, that's the live areas, so we just want to be careful in there so that you know, those students out there, if we mess anything up, they don't get confused. Now in your activity list area, you're kind of the only one touching that right now, so you should be good. But again, feel free to yell. That'll be it. Have a great day.